Welcome to Make Pods Great Again. I'm your host, John, back again with my bestie, Nikki. Nikki, how are you?
I'm good. I'm very tired.
Are you? Yeah, you had a tough WOD tonight? What was it?
I did. Well, okay. So, fun fact, my brother has started to CrossFit with me.
Oh, wow. I wasn't sure what you were going to say when you're like with the big pause. It's like, did he go to prison? Did he have a
This would be
disease?
like
Like,
this announcement is kind of along those lines. Like this is like when you got that one person in your life where you're like, no fucking way is this person ever gonna step into the gym. And he's been living with me for a month now, and it's part of my requirements. Like, if you want to live in my house, you got to come to the gym with me. I was half kidding. I didn't think it would be serious. So he has gone now to 2 classes, 2 days in a row. He wanted to go to his 3rd day in a row, and I was like, no. I mean, he won't admit that he actually likes it, but he wanted to go on the 3rd day, and I was like, give your ass a break. And then this is the 4th day, and like our schedules didn't line up with the gym, and I was like, fuck, do you want to like work out in the backyard? We have like an assault bike and stuff. And he was like, all right. God damn it. So it's dark out, and we just did like calories on the bike and burpees.
nice.
He made me.
That's the best one. Yeah, it's good, right? And we should tell everybody, Justin Medeiros is with us, games athlete, top 5 games athlete.
Rookie of the year.
Rookie of the
What's
year.
up?
What's up, guys?
I would.
I
I'd
buried
like to
the
say,
lead with my brother's story. Sorry.
No, it was okay. I was all right. I felt like I needed to introduce him so we could include him in the story. And I'd like to say I appreciate the fact he wore a shirt with his name on it, so I won't forget. So that's awesome.
There we go. I got it.
Yeah.
Just ready, just in case. We go from one newbie of CrossFit to one newbie of the competitive season. Well, I guess that's not even fair because you have been in competitive CrossFit for so long now, but this is your first individual run at the games, and in the final 5. Holy moly. And a youngin' really in comparison, bud, to everyone else in the field.
I told somebody today we were interviewing him, they're like, please ask him what it feels like to be 21 because I don't remember what that feels like.
What is it like? Tell us. Tell the world.
Help me remember what it was like before my ankles hurt, Justin. What's it like?
No, I definitely think my 21-year-old experience has been a lot different than a lot of other people's 21-year-old experience. I'm in college. I feel like that's what a lot of 20-year-old people are doing. I'm a full-time student at Boise State. Since COVID happened, it's all been online. So I've had the freedom to kind of go where I want to train. Like I said, I go to school in Boise. I'm actually in Washington right now with my coach training. So that's been pretty awesome. And it's kind of like the life of a 21-year-old in my shoes right now is just eat, sleep, and breathe CrossFit. I'm in Washington living with my coach for the past 4 months now. So.
Oh, wow. Do you want to kill each other yet?
Not yet. It's been a lot better than I was anticipating, but it's been good. It's definitely get to sit at the table and like watch them program my workouts, and definitely get the nerves going when that happens. So
you can totally tell when you've like left dishes in the sink or whatever, because he makes you do like 100 burpees for time or something stupid.
For sure.
Oh my gosh. Well, that's wild. Yeah, I think you're right. Your experience for sure is a little bit different than I would say probably 99.9% of your peers. But it's cool to hear that you're in school. What are you studying?
Kinesiology.
Neat. That's awesome.
Yeah.
So you probably have a very good sense of what's going to hurt you when you do certain workouts and things like that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's been pretty cool though. So it's pretty nice being able to like compete and actually keep going to school and stuff like that. So it's been a really fun experience.
Yeah, I think your college experience already sounds significantly different than my college experience did.
Seriously.
For whatever that's worth. And I was definitely not as driven as you are. It's good to see, for me, it's good to see, not to make such a huge thing about your age, but I love the fact that we're seeing a younger athlete get in the top 5. Like I've said, probably for the last couple of years, we talk about Haley Adams a lot on the female side, and she's been kind of like the only one under the age of 25 really that's been, a major competitor. And I was talking to somebody about it. I'm like, I'm not sure anybody's going to pull that off on the men's side until they hit kind of the mid-20s. And then you proved me wrong. Like within a week, I was like, damn it, I'm an idiot. Don't know what I'm talking about.
So I don't make predictions.
Well, in my defense, Filthy 150 was like 5 years ago. or so it feels like.
Yeah, it was a long. I mean, we're coming up on almost a year from like a year ago from that, so it's definitely been a while.
Does it feel like that long for you? It feels like 5 years for me. Like I remember when you won it and I was like, Justin, who? And you
What?
beat like some significant competitors there because everybody was going, Roman's going to go win this thing and blow it out. And then you beat him.
Oh, Dan
And
Bailey was on the floor for the
yeah,
first time. Oh my God.
Yeah, it was a crazy competition. I mean, so far this season, I've been just as surprised as everyone else, I think. I mean, I definitely wasn't expecting to go out there and win Filthy 150, and I definitely wasn't expecting to go out and get top 5 at the games this year. But that didn't mean I wasn't like putting in all the work that needed to be done to get there. But definitely exceeded my own expectations for this season.
somebody sent me the rankings from the top 5. They re-ranked you guys based off of the scoring and that's going to come up in Aromas, and you were second, dude.
Yeah, I did see that. I was pretty interesting. Yeah, I definitely tried not to think about all that kind of stuff, but there was definitely a lot of cool stats they were putting in. I mean, I think the most noticeable thing after is how much more of a lead Matt had. I was more focused on that. I was more focused on that than anything else, but
look,
yeah,
Justin, second's the new first, dude. Second's the new first. So just take your victory. Take your victory and be happy with it.
Yeah.
So like if obviously you're putting in the time, like you're living with your coach. I mean, you've known that your run for the games was coming for almost a year now. So I get that you've been prepping, but if you say that you have been exceeding your expectations and you were a little bit surprised, like the moment that the scores were tallied and tabulated, because it was a blind leaderboard. It wasn't like the Open where you could like game it and you saw it the moment someone else put in there. Like what was going through your mind? Like what were your first thoughts when you were like, oh my God, I'm going.
Yeah, no, it was wild. It was kind of cool though, because I mean, at first they told us that we couldn't have any spectators, and then they told us that we could, and I was really happy because my family's from California, and I really wanted them to like come up and experience it. Because one of the bad things about like competing in Aromas with the 30 men, 30 females, that we had no spectators, and my family's been to like every event I've ever done through high school and this. So I was really happy for them to come. But I'm on the West Coast, so I was the last like athlete. So when the block was from 9 to 12, they released scores at 12. So like I was like still sweating after my workout, and I'm like, well, let's see what happened. Like it was pretty weird. After the first block, we set up our gym like a pretty good like competition style. Like we had like a warm up area that was like curtained off, so I can kind of like go back there and just kind of get away from everything. So I went back there, made my protein shake, and I'm like, I'm not going to go look at the leaderboard. Like, I don't want to go out there and see like last place or anything like that.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I can't. But then it was taking a while, and I'm like, I'll just sneak out and just kind of watch from the back. And no, I mean, I think after every block, I was just really surprised with how I was sitting. I mean, I know after each workout, I was really happy with like my effort like that I put into those workouts. Like I knew I was the most prepared I could be, and I executed well, and I did everything I could, and the workouts went really well for me personally. But I just didn't think that they would hold up like that on the leaderboard. So yeah, I was just sitting back and I was like, whoa, like I was not expecting that. So it was a really cool weekend. And after like the final event, being able to experience that with like all my close friends and family was just like, yeah, it was really crazy.
Yeah, man. The room was packed when you and I did our Zoom interview on the live for the recap show. I was like, damn, you have like 30 people there.
Dude, there was probably like close to like 70 or 80 when people like left. Cause that was like, I mean, I completed my workout at like 1:30, and then that was at like 3:30. So that was like 2 hours later.
Yeah.
And all those people just kind of hung around and stayed to kind of watch the final result. So it was, yeah, I have just the best like group of people behind me, which is just so cool. Definitely. So cool.
That moment for me was like very, I was nervous to do our interview because I like throughout the weekend, it had been like very planned. It was like, hey, at this point, Nikki, you're going to like announce event 7 with Dave, or you're going to do this interview. You're going to talk to Eric Rosa, or you're going to do like, the winner of, and obviously like we were playing things by ear by the end because we didn't know like, are we going to want to talk to well, first place, obviously, but are we also going to want to talk to like who skirted into second or who was on the bubble in fourth or fifth? Like I didn't know who I was going to talk to and I didn't know the results. Obviously, we were waiting for everything to come in. So when you made it, it was like obviously a story because it's your first run at the games and you're the youngest competitor on the guy's side. And it was just like cool to talk about. And then in my ear, I hear my producer be like, cool, Nikki. And Justin's going to come in a Zoom and you're going to tell him that he won Rookie of the Year. And I was like, I'm going to what? Like, I'm going to do the like Nicole Carroll handing out accolades at games things right now. Like, I'm not prepared for this. This is a big deal. Like, I don't know what was happening for you in that moment. But for me, I was like, holy moly, like this is a big thing that's happening to you right now.
Yeah, no, it was crazy. I mean, I don't know if you guys have known like a little bit of my journey, but like last year I did the Granite Games and I was in a qualifying spot going into the last event and then I ended up dropping out. And that's kind of been in my head through every competition I've done since. So at the Filthy 150, that was going through my head in the last workout. And then going into this workout, I mean, I knew I was sitting in the top 5 and I'm like, I mean, I really hope I can do well. And it was kind of weird. So when you guys like released the leaderboard, like on TV, it got released to the app first. So like people knew what the score was before like you guys put it up. So I'm like sitting down, everyone's pretty quiet. No one's really talking to me too much because they're not sure like what happened. And I'm like, oh, they saw the leaderboard. I didn't make it. Like, I was just like trying to read everyone's mind to see like what was going on. And yeah. And then my coach got a phone call saying that they want to get me for an interview. And I'm like, well, I think this is a good sign. And,
oh my God, we blew it with the setup.
No, it was good. I was so nervous. I was like trying not to get excited because like, I mean, it happened to me before where like I was in it and then I was out. So I was just like, all right, like, I mean, I was happy with my performance either way. Like I knew I gave it my all, but those like watching the TV screen and just kind of wait. And they went through first and then second. And then I'm like, we'll see. And then they said my name and I was just, it was awesome. We hired like a videographer and a camera person for the weekend. And at the time I was like, Adam, which is my coach, he did that. And I was like, I don't know why you're doing this. Like, you're going to document someone getting 25th at the games. Like, this is the best thing. But they got some awesome like memories of the weekend, which is so cool. And they got like some cool pictures of all of us like celebrating at the end. That was really cool.
I love it.
That's awesome. So going into Aromas, have you practiced your championship pose yet? When you're the guy that knocks off Frazier, like you got to practice this. This is important. Like, you know, you have to act like you've been there before. Like give him a bro hug, pat him on top of the head. Sorry, little buddy. Sorry,
it's gonna be okay.
Sorry, I ruined your 5 titles in a row. My bad.
Oh, yeah.
You know, you got to practice.
Dude,
this stuff.
I've not practiced that yet, but hey, someone's got to do it eventually. And I mean, the leaderboard's wiped clean, and I definitely think this year. I mean, Dave's kept saying it's going to be totally different than any other year. It's going to be a different test. It's going to be way harder, and I think he's going to throw us a lot of curveballs. And I'm not saying that's going to be an advantage or disadvantage to Matt, but it's going to be different. And we don't know what happens when things are different. So I think a lot of things can go different. I mean, I think we all know Matt's cup of tea is CrossFit. I mean, thrusters and pull-ups. I mean, he's the best at that. But when it comes to all the odd object stuff, I mean, we don't know because we haven't done it yet. So it's going to be really interesting to see how the games play out this year. And I think there's going to be a lot of events and a lot of cool things that are going to go down. If
it were going to fall in your wheelhouse, what are you hoping for? Like, what do you hope?
Wrestling match.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yes. That's what I'm talking about right there.
Yeah.
There we go.
Yeah. I mean, I love what Matt said a while ago. He's like, I train not to have a wheelhouse, and I'm definitely not there yet, but I wouldn't say there's anything I'm really good at or really bad at, but some things that I'm excited for sure is like I volunteered at the games in 2015, and that was like kind of like the start of like, hey, it'd be really cool to make it here as an athlete. So, but one of the reasons why I've always wanted to make it is they do all these like crazy events that you like don't get to do in your gym. I mean, they've done like the event Chaos, and they've used the pig, the plow, like the snail, like all these like things that like you just can't do in your gym. So I'm really hoping some of those things either come back or they figure out a different like obstacle that we can have like never done before. And I think just that aspect of like just well, we're all really fit. Let's see who can use their fitness to get like through this, which is super exciting to me. Like I was definitely bummed about the online games because I knew they couldn't do a lot of the crazy stuff. But now I get the best of both worlds. So I get to go to the games and hopefully throw down and do some crazy events. So I'm excited for that.
Man, this is the right attitude to have for sure, because I feel like you like there's some people that are going in that are just like, I'm here to win. I don't care about anything else. Like, I don't care if I die or have a bad time or whatever. And then there's some people I'm sure who are looking at it being like, okay, this is a race for second, which is also like the wrong mentality. But your attitude of going in there being like, who knows what this is going to be? We're all really fit. And like, I hope I get to put my hands on something that I've never touched before. And I'm really good at it from the get-go. Like, that is the greatest amount of like effort and optimism and also like seriousness and reality of the situation. It's like you've done this before.
Yeah, definitely haven't done this before, but I'm trying to act like I have for sure.
Yeah.
Well, the truth is in a 5-person competition, anything can truly happen.
Mm-hmm.
Like anything, like, you know, I might have been talking to one of the twins about it, that, you know, we for years, at least the last 4 years, you've seen Frazier going up against, you know, the best of the best, but there's 30 to 60 people out there competing against him for 3 or 4 days. You knock it down to 5 and you make a couple of those, you know, kind of first timer to the games that don't have those years of, I'm going to call it pressure. You know, like you put pressure on yourself when you've lost a couple of years and you're like, oh, I got to go out and win. Like, it's your first year. You're just like, hey, I'm just going to go have fun, be loose, go kick some butt. Like, that's a dangerous place for him and a great place for you. So I think you're spot on in your attitude going in, thinking, you know, I hope I get some wacky stuff, and I hope you do. I want to see it. I think it's going to it'll be a spectacle for us as fans. And I think for Frazier, it's going to put some pressure on him, which is what we need to see. Like, we need to see what happens under pressure, you know?
Yeah. I mean, and Noah was able to do that to him last year. So, why can't that happen again this year? I mean, hopefully I can give Noah some help and we can give Matt a run for his money. So I'm pretty pumped for that. I think, I'm not saying that. I think, all these guys made the top 5 and I think it's anybody's game to win. I don't think, like I said before, I mean, there's going to be a lot of different things out there, and that just means all of us, like, it's an equal playing field. So I'm super excited to like go into it like with that kind of opportunity. It's going to be really fun.
What do your college friends think about this? Like, I can't believe they all know about CrossFit like we know about CrossFit. Do they think this is just like a weird thing? Are they excited? Like, what's the deal?
They're like Justin and that weird shit he does on the
all his clothes have his name on it. It's just weird. Like, they don't know.
Weird.
They don't know what's going on.
Yeah, I know. It's definitely been weird. Even through high school and college, like, I've definitely dedicated like a lot of time to like competing in CrossFit and like being like the best I can be. And it's definitely been weird like going into college because like their friends like go out to party or they're just doing all these different things. And I'm like, no, I'm just going to stay home so I can go to bed early. And they're like, oh, why don't you just come out and like just not drink? And I was like, well, then I'm still up late and that's not going to help my recovery. So I'm like, I'm just going to go to bed because I got to train and all that stuff. And they've never really understood it, I should say. I mean, because in reality, I mean, until now, I haven't really got any benefit, I should say, after it. Like from an outside perspective, I'm super grateful, and I do it because I love it. So, and I don't care what other people think. This from like the outside perspective, I think a lot of people just are like, they just don't understand like why we do what we do. So it's been really cool to kind of get to that kind of like next level and kind of show all those people that like what I've been training for like was worth it. And I mean, it's always been worth it in my eyes. I just love the process, and I wouldn't do this if I didn't love it. I mean, I've done it for the past, I've been CrossFit for like 8 years now, I think. And like, I mean, I wouldn't be doing it for this long if I didn't like doing it. I've never done it to like get anything like from that aspect out of it. I just do it because it's fun.
Right. Well, hey, let me tell you what the benefit is. All right. Let me give you the benefit. You've taken Zoom classes, right? Everything's online.
Yep.
You guys can see each other.
Exactly.
Do the next Zoom class with your shirt off, dude. Show your abs. Like, there's your benefit. You're a college student. There's going to be girls on there. You just feel like, oh, this game shirt feels tight, and just rip it off.
It's so exhausting always sitting here with these abs.
So exhausting sitting here clothed. That's the benefit. I've said forever, if I look like a games athlete, I would go to work, no shirt. I work at a bank. I just go wear a jacket, No shirt at all, abs
I
all
like it.
oiled
I
up.
like
It'd be
it.
great. That's your
I
benefit,
like
dude.
it.
Do you ever though, Justin? Like, do you ever just like go out and party like a 21-year-old? Like, do you give yourself like an off season or a couple weekends a year or something?
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely been a little bit weird. I mean, since I've turned 21, I haven't had any alcohol yet. I mean, I'm supposed to not have any alcohol before I'm 21, but I mean, we all
But
know
none of us ever have.
Yeah, I know.
Totally
So,
new.
yeah, definitely when I was in high school and like my freshman year in college, I've definitely went out and had a good time. But I mean, I can probably count on both my hands how many times like I have. It's been very frequent, and all the times that I have, it's because it turns into a competitive game. Like,
Oh my god.
Yes,
I'm
gotta
not
win.
the kind of person to like go out and just like drink. Like we got to play like a game that gets competitive.
Oh, is the last thing I would ever want to do is like play like Beirut against a games athlete or something like that. Like
Exactly. It's
flip cup against a games athlete, I would die. I would be dead.
And not that you've ever had anything to drink before, but if you had,
Right.
what would your drink of choice be?
Oh, decisions.
He's 21, so if it's anything other than Natty Ice, you haven't had that rite of passage yet.
Hey, that's true. That's true. I mean, we're a college student on a college budget,
Yeah.
so.
No, see, every time I talk to like a young CrossFitter, and you keep in mind, Justin, I don't mean to be offensive when I say young, but I'm 50.
No, it's
like
all good.
the shoes I'm wearing are older than
Well, you have
all
a
right?
daughter in college. You have a
I
daughter
know.
his
I
age.
have a 19-year-old. Anyway, I was talking to one of the twins the other day, and they're talking about drinking, and it's like twisted tea or something like
Twisted tea
total.
is delicious.
Well, yeah, exactly. That's why I was.
If anyone tells you they don't like twisted tea, they're
It's a
lying.
basic B drink though, and that's why, because they're just like Justin. They go to bed at 8:00 and they work out like fanatics, and they don't drink much. So when they do drink, they want it to taste great.
Yeah, that's fair.
So they drink
my
twisted
God.
tea and Trulies and whatever. So I was just testing to see if he had made basic
Yeah, I mean,
status
I
yet.
mean, in my house, I live with 3 college roommates that are not as competitive as I am in the sport of fitness. So definitely around my Trulies and twisted tea bags and all that
Oh my
good
God.
stuff.
If there was hard seltzer when I was in college, like I might be dead. Like, you might not know me right now. This podcast may never have happened.
When you decide to go on a tour of training alcohol, come see Nikki and I, because this is the one area I can keep up with a games athlete on.
Accurate.
Hey, I won't argue with you there. I'll give you the win on that one.
I am on the podium. There's no doubt.
So how much of your like strength and competitive ability would you say is harnessed directly in your mullet?
Oh, a high percentage. A high percentage. I mean, if you really look at it, I mean, Granite Games, that was about a year and a half ago now. That was first time I grew out a mullet. That was stage 1, and that was a start to a really good
What brought this on? Did you see Noah's really crappy man bun and said, I'll just show him. Screw that guy. I'm going to
You're like, I'll grow the other way.
Yes,
I'll do the opposite.
Go the opposite direction.
Yeah, it was not too crazy of a story, but kind of a funny story. My friend just I had a buzz cut like throughout high school. I wrestled, so you couldn't have long hair. I was like, I'm just gonna buzz cut. And after I like graduated, I was like, I'm gonna start growing out my hair a little bit. Like, why not? I figured out like curly hair. I never knew I had curly hair. And then I did a competition just in SoCal, just kind of like a local partner comp. And my friend's like, you should cut your hair and do a mullet for it. And I was like, why not? Hair grows back. Like, I'll do it. And I was pretty scared. So like, it didn't really look like a mullet that much. I just kind of rolled it off the sides. And at that time, this was right before Granite Games. And it was right when I got a new coach, which is Adam Knifer, my coach right now. And I drove right when I got out of school. I've never met him before. We started working together like a month before that, talked on the phone, and he was like, I'm only going to coach you if you can come up here, like for extended amount of time. I was like, all right. I was like, well, I get out of school May 4th. I was like, I'll drive up there. And he's like, really? And I was like, yeah, like, why not? So I drove up here and I was like, I still have a mullet. Like, this is not going to be a good first impression. Like, I'm like, I don't know what's going to happen. And I get out of the car and he's like, dude, do you have a mullet? And I was like, yeah, kind of. And he's like, I used to have a mullet. So he used to have a mullet, and I was like, no way. And he like showed me some old pictures of him. And then I came home to meet his wife, and I was like, oh, so like she's never met me before. I'm a 20-year-old college student, like with a mullet. I'm like, it's not gonna be good. And she's like, oh my gosh, I love your hair. Like I miss Adam's mullet and all this stuff.
Oh
So
my gosh.
turned out to be a really like perfect match. And right before Granite Games, Adam took out a pair of clippers and just kind of like shaved the sides. We did it on the
Oh
back
my God,
court.
Adam cut your hair into the mullet we know and love today?
Yeah, and I was like, he's like, oh dude, I can cut it. And I'm like, oh, you probably used to cut hair or something like that. Dude's never cut hair before.
You let him cut your hair?
If
But
you go-
like with
if
no
you can-
experience?
Yeah, if you go back and look at the Granite Games mullet, it is not the best mullet we have seen. But yeah, it was super funny. And Adam told me if I qualified for the games, he'd grow out his hair into a mullet, and he's got a full-fledged mullet now. So it is awesome.
Oh.
So since Ireland, he's been growing out the mullet, which is it's just as long as mine now. So it's
Wait a second. I thought, hold on, this is a true story because I saw him. I don't know if it was on your Instagram or if he like popped into our Zoom real quick. Like I can't remember. It's all a blur to me. But I swear to God, I thought he was wearing like one of those hats with the fake hair to be funny.
nope.
I thought like everyone showed up with like mullet hair hats, like to like support you and be funny. That's his real hair
That's
now.
his real hair.
That's awesome.
I think for the
good.
games,
So
you should
good.
cut it into a rat tail. That would be
Oh
totally
my
epic.
God.
So epic.
It's-
Oh no, I don't know if I can go that far. I've grown to really like my mullet, so it might be around for a while now.
Look, I'm just
Amazing.
saying you need every advantage. You got a couple of, old pros in that competition. You need every advantage you can to throw them off, and a good rat tail would definitely distract them.
Good
No,
mullet
not
is right up
expecting
there.
Yeah, well, true. There is that. There is
John,
that.
do you have hair envy right now?
All right. First of all, I had a righteous mullet in the 80s. Don't let anybody
You
tell you different.
did?
Yes, of course. I was the 80s.
How have we not done a photo mullet swap situation?
Oh my God. I grew up in the 80s. I had a great mullet, and everyone did. It was like, that was the haircut.
The
Business
thing,
in
it
front,
was the
party
thing.
in back. Yeah, it was the thing.
It was like the Jennifer Aniston, but for dudes.
Yeah, it absolutely was. And then that went away in the 90s. And, so this is what you have to look forward to someday, Justin.
Now, Justin, do you have a girlfriend?
I do.
And how does she feel about your throwback 70s mullet situation?
It's 80s,
She's not-
Nikki. 80s.
Oh,
Biggest-
80s. Sorry.
80s.
I'm dating
Not-
myself.
Yes.
Yeah, definitely not the biggest fan. She kind of was one that convinced me to like grow out my hair, and then she
Mhm.
really liked my long curly hair, and then I cut it into a mullet, and she was not the biggest fan. She's like, I guess I'm not super mad because it's better than a buzz cut, but
hmm
she's like, she's not a fan of the mullet. I'm like, well, it's here to stay, so gotta get used
Get
to
used to it, girl. That's so
Exactly.
funny. My husband had long curly hair, just like you. Didn't know his hair was long, or didn't know his hair was curly, rather. Like grew it out, had like wicked long shoulder length, like beautiful bright red hair. And that's how I met him, was with this like long curly hair. And he had it forever. We've been together 10 years tomorrow, fam. Crazy.
Oh wow.
Oh, that was him. It's like his ears were burning.
Oh,
I
there
could
you go.
feel him opening the door. And when he cut it 2 years ago, I was like, I don't know, like we might not be a thing anymore if you cut your hair. Like, I only know you with long curly hair. Like, I don't understand. Turned out fine, obviously. But I wonder if she's going to fall into it and be like, you can't ever cut your mullet now. Now I'm used to you like this.
Hey, I think it's gonna happen. I mean, it's a lot. It's really weird too because a lot of people in the CrossFit community know me like with the mullet, but like
Yeah.
all my friends are like, I can't believe you still have a mullet. But everyone else is just like they only know me with the mullet, so it'd be weird to not have one. And it's
Yeah.
it's pretty funny because I mean, the first time I got any like kind of stepped on to like the elite level of competition was kind of Granite Games, and people saw the mullet there, and all my friends that have known me are making fun of me, and everyone else is like, I love your hair. So
You're the mullet guy.
yeah.
Hey, you can't cut it now. I mean, come on. Come on. You win the games, you'll never be able to cut it. You'll have to keep it forever.
God.
I know, right?
That's true. That's true.
It is true. I
You
mean,
might do the
I'm
thing eventually where
superstitious.
you have the mullet, right? But then like the bald spot coming in, you
Skullet.
know?
The
The
skullet.
skullet. Oh my
Yes.
God.
Yes. I could grow a skullet. I can grow in the bag.
Yeah, really?
I
Oh,
could. Oh
that'd be
yeah.
a good look right there.
I was
I
thinking a
mean,
skullet with a rat tail would be really, really
ooh.
sexy. Women would just throw their panties at me all the time.
Just they're lining up around the corner
They
one by
would.
one.
Right now, they're going to listen to this and go, "Oh my God, I wish he would do that. That'd be so hot." That's what they're going to do.
Mhm.
They're going to send
Have
me
you ever,
DMs. It's going to be
I
great.
was going to say, have you ever gotten like date solicitation via the podcast?
No.
Oh, well now.
Yeah,
But now I
now.
will. Now I will. They're like, "Oh, that sexy skullet with a rat tail." Of course. I mean,
I
know
mean,
it's hard.
I assumed we were going to be talking about your hair for like 30 minutes on this show. I don't know if either one of you did, but it was for sure in my purview.
I know
knew
it's
it
hard
was
to
fun.
I know it's hard to believe, Justin, that there aren't women lined up for 50-year-old meme lord. I know it's just like you just blowing your mind, I'm sure. My daughter told me tonight she's got a boyfriend now. She's I have two daughters, and the youngest one has a boyfriend. And she says to me,
No, what?
yeah, she'll be 17 this weekend, by the way. And she says to me that she's like, hey, you know, her boyfriend, she goes, he already likes you. I'm like, well, what's not to like? I sit around and play video games and I run a meme page. Like, of course he's going to like me. And she's like, yeah, I had to explain it to him. She's like, I couldn't just like leave it out there that you're on a meme page. Like you've got 300 followers, but then I also had to like fully explain it because you have almost 300,000. And like, that's even weirder. I'm like, yeah, you're
You've
right,
hit
babe.
celebrity status, Dad.
Yeah, infamy maybe is a better way to put it, but I just thought it was funny. But yeah, so Justin, I know it's blowing your mind, but they're not lined up out the door for a 50-year-old meme lord. But
Surprise, surprise, surprise.
I know, but there's always the meme millions, right, Nikki?
The meme millions.
Meme
We're making
millions.
them. We're not making them.
I wish.
So Jess, what does your like lead up to games look like? I mean, I feel like time stands still between phase 1 and phase 2. Like time is going by so incredibly slowly. This last like 3-4 weeks, I'm like, I keep feeling like I'm like, oh, it's just a couple weeks out. Oh, it's just a couple weeks out. But no, for real, it's like 18 days out at the time of this recording. So like what do you do? Are you like resting so you can hit it hard? Are you back into training so that you don't, you know, if you don't use it, you lose it? I don't know. You tell me.
No, I mean, this season's been like crazy. I mean, I feel like I've been training hard for the past like 4 months now. So it's been crazy, but yeah, no, definitely. I mean, we only have like 3 weeks, like we got to get the most out of it. I mean, we ain't going to be taking any time off. So it's just been kind of hitting it hard. I mean, stage 2 is a continuation of stage 1. So kind of trying to get in all that kind of awkward, weird stuff that they weren't able to cover through stage 1 and just get as prepared as we can. I don't think people are going to get like too much like fitter per se. Like their ability is going to be the same, but you can definitely like fine tune your craft and just, yeah, it's hard. 3 weeks is like a long but short time. So it's not quick. Because
Totally.
it's like the competition date's like 3 weeks away, but like check-in date's sooner than that. And then you still got to travel there. So like the timeline gets pretty close. I mean, I think I'm going to be headed down like 2 weeks from, yesterday. So like 13 days. Yeah. Yeah. It's coming quick.
So quick.
Yeah.
Well, maybe Nikki will actually mention your name on the air this time. That'd be a nice change. It'd be good.
No, we like didn't really talk. Well, no, that's not true. That Sean and Annie did a bunch of recaps on like this young kid who's like wiping the floor with people. I actually I'm very curious to know. I mean, I don't even understand or know what my role is going to be like because obviously nobody knows anything about what the final events are going to, where they're going to be, what they're going to be. But I'm like very interested to see what the actual competition floor like feels like. Like normally, you know what it's like. And I think that I was out there with you at Granite for some points in time too. It's like the vibe is the way that it is. The energy is the way that it is. The crowd kind of like lends to all of it. And, at the end of an event, like, if you win that you do an interview and it's a little bit, I know it's a little bit annoying because you like can't breathe and you're not recovered yet, but it's also this cool like rite of passage where you're like, I won the thing. I get to make the money and do the interview and wear the white jersey. It's just like, it's all in the package, you know?
Yeah.
So I'm like very curious to know what it's going to be like when I'm out there and you're out there and you win and I'm just like, high five, bro. I don't really know. There's no one else around. Like, good work. See you later. Like, or is it going to feel very normal because I'm still going to have a mic and we're still going to do, I don't even know if it's like, it's all up in the air.
Yeah. I feel like for the spectators, I don't think it's going to be too big of a difference at all.
Right. Cause they're watching on TV or they're watching on TV.
I mean, it's going to start, I think in my head is just, you'll see the workout per se, and then you'll see like whoever is kind of commentating kind of go through the workout. And then after that, you might interview and then it cuts. But like after that cut, it's going to be really weird just because there's no one there.
There's no one there.
It's going to be really cool. I think, I mean, it's going to be a lot different for a lot of those veteran athletes, but it's not going to be really different for me because I don't even know what the games are like. So this is just going to be just another competition in my eyes.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, so you've been a fan of the sport for a while, right? Like that's one thing I kind of love about your journey is like you're so brand new to it. Like if you weren't competing, like who would you be rooting for in this thing?
Ooh,
man,
on both sides, men and women, not just men.
Yeah, I know. At least in the men's division, I mean, it's kind of like, I mean, Rich Froning's like the OG, like he's like the GOAT. And
Thank you. Thank you.
And Matt's won 4, so now it's like, and you can have that debate on who's like the best, but if Matt gets 5, then it's like it's really hard to make that debate. Like, so I'm not. I love Matt, and I definitely like years 1, 2, and partially into the 3rd year when he was competing. I'm like, I don't want him to get close to like Froning. Like I love Froning, but kind of I've never met him. I've listened to a lot of his podcasts and interviews and stuff like that, and I really like his kind of mindset. I think he.
Matt or Rich?
Matt.
I've never met Matt. Oh, you've never met Matt, and now you get to?
Matt. Yeah, never met him, so it's gonna be pretty interesting. But just like I like the Redeemed and the Dominant podcast or like documentary.
So good.
You should small talk him right before an event. I hear he really likes that. Just chat him up. Hey Matt, tell me about your I hear you have a big F-150. How is it, buddy? You like it?
My God. That's like before we didn't always have a system at competitions, you know, like getting information, doing interviews, whatever. Like we built the system that we kind of have fallen into comfort in now. And in the beginning, there were a few seasons and a few different events I went to where the producers were like, well, just go in the warm-up area real quick and ask them some questions before they like get out onto the competition floor. And I learned real quick that is not the way. That is not the way. This is not the way. That is like, people do not want to see me. They like, if I walk back there, they're all like,
yeah.
And if I approach them, it's like bad news. So
yeah, I can imagine that for sure. There's definitely going to be a lot of downtime between us. So I'm really curious how all those people are like off camera kind of thing. I definitely think they're all going to be really nice. I mean, we had a lot of like Zoom meetings like leading up to the game, just kind of everything going on, and never met them, but I've listened to a lot of them talk a lot, and they're all kind of like how I expected, just like pretty awesome people. So I don't think it's going to be anything too weird, but it's going to be like really cool to like line up and just kind of be next to Matt and Noah and all those guys.
Matt doesn't allow direct eye contact, by the way, so make sure you don't look him directly in the eyes.
Yeah, I think it's awesome that I don't think all professional like sports organizations have this kind of camaraderie, have this kind of community, and have this kind of environment where people are really, I mean, elite athletes are really, really like awesome fucking people. Yeah. And like, they may be focused, and they may not want to do the small talk right beforehand. And like, they have like public personas and images, but for the most part, I mean, everyone that I've encountered on camera and off camera over the last 7 years have been just like really down to earth, awesome people. We're very lucky in that respect.
For sure.
How about on the women? How about on the women's side? Who are you rooting for?
Ooh, yeah.
I don't know. I mean, I really think, kind of before the year started, I was like, I mean, I feel like Tia is just kind of going to be on like a whole nother level. like coming into it. I mean, her performance at the Rogue Invitational, I was like,
Insane.
wow. I mean, I know like the clean and jerk is a very she's really good at that event. Don't get me wrong. Like it's her wheelhouse. She's strong, but still to see the way she like kind of competed and went about that clean and jerk like that, like you have to have a certain mindset to kind of to do that. And I saw that and I was like, whoa, like you don't want to mess with that. Yeah. So it's, and I know like, I mean, Matt and Tia train together and I know they're a power team and they definitely got everything. They're doing everything right. So things be really hard to take down those people. I mean, obviously I got to root for Haley. I mean, she's kind of been on the come up. I've not known her. I did the teenage division at Wadapalooza when I was 17 and I think she was 15 or 16. I'm not sure. I think she was 15.
Yeah, she's 19 now. So she would have been 15.
Yeah. So I won the division when because it's 16 to 18. Yeah, I'm pretty sure she was 15 competing in the 16 to 8. The girl's always been an animal, but yeah, I won it that year and she won it that year. So that was like, I never talked to her all weekend or anything. Kind of gave her a high five on the podium. I have like a picture of us like on the podium, and I talked to her after to saying like you're awesome kind of thing. Like keep crushing it. And we've kind of followed each other on social media since then and kind of been along. And she's been crushing it, and it's pretty cool. I mean, she's the youngest in the women's division. I'm the youngest in the men's division.
Yeah.
So I represent those the young guns out there. So
Dude,
totally.
Haley's the best. She's got that
awesome.
that resting bee face. She always looks mean. Like
relatable.
Yes. This is now before anybody like lights me up for saying Haley Adams has a resting bee face. She told me that. Like she literally sent me a photo of herself like at the games or something with this like total pissed off look in her face, and she's like, "Oh my god, look at my resting bee face," and wanted me to be.
You know how many photos I have of the two of us, like mid interview, where both of us just look like fucking miserable. Like nobody come near us ever.
She's the best. She's absolutely the best. So we just had her on the show a few weeks ago. She is so funny and such a nice girl. So
yeah, that's awesome. I mean,
she's
this is cool.
Yeah.
I mean, I think she's kind of one of the other girls. Like, I mean, like I said, like Tia's doing everything right. And I think she is too. I mean, she's surrounding herself with the best of the best. I mean, I think she's got her head on straight. I mean, she gets to train with Rich. I mean, you can tell she's focused on training. She's still in school. I think she has her priorities right. So I think it's pretty cool to see someone. Cause I know there's, I don't remember any names, but like being in the teenage division, I see all these guys that go homeschool and do all these big things as a teenager, and then I'm like, I mean, I wish I could do that. I mean, it'd be awesome to compete, but they've kind of dwindled out over the years. So it's pretty cool to see just someone that's kind of just done everything in my eyes the way how I would go about it and have success, and it's pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's so important. We talk about it a lot on the show, especially because we've had many teenage competitors on as well. But this new breed of athlete that you are, Justin, because you've been doing this now for 8 years and you started when you were so young, it's like how women couldn't snatch 95 pounds back at the games a million years ago. And then you fast forward to Tia, who's in her prime right now, who's doing things that we never thought athletes would be able to do. Fast forward to Haley, who's come up in the sport, who when she's Tia's age is going to be doing things that we never thought she was going to. I mean, you're one of those athletes too. So it's really interesting to see not only how the sport evolves and changes as younger people come up through it, because now you have way more experience under your belt from a younger age than we ever did when we were help forming the sport, 10 years ago. And on top of that, how you are all managing to still balance your life out, because you are 100% a professional athlete. This is your life. This is your job. This is your role. And I get that takes a level of dedication that some of us will never have for anything. I personally have it for eating chocolate, but that's literally it in life. And the fact that you are, like you said, still in school. And like you said, she's still taking classes and figuring it out and understanding how to balance your life. I mean, you guys are the next breed of superstars who are going to be able to sustain this sport. And that's what's really important. But holy moly, I do not underestimate how much work that is for you. And I commend you for figuring out how to consistently get your work done and get your workout done and not just break down mentally. That's a lot of mental gunk and pressure in there too.
Yeah. No, it's definitely been crazy to even kind of think about it. like that. I mean, I've always trained and my goal's always been to make it to the games. And my goal is always like, if I make it to the games, like I want to make sure people like remember me and know that I came in and competed. I didn't want to be those people that kind of come in and just kind of enjoy the experience. I've always wanted to compete, and all like kind of like little shortcomings I've had, like not shortcomings, but struggles I've had to make it to this level. I was like, all right, like, okay, like good. Like it's like just gonna make me like that much better for like when I do get there. Cause I mean, like honestly, since I was like 18, I felt like I could go to the games, and I mean, it's not a good mentality to have. I feel like I go to the games and not get last. I feel like I was better than the person and that was in the bottom of the leaderboard. So I was like, I know I can go there and hang now, and tried every year since then and haven't made it. And I was like, all right, like whatever, it's good. Because when I get there, it's going to be worth it. And they kind of never really thought about what it would be like to like kind of get there. And I still like don't really believe it. Like, I don't think that, I mean, as of right now, I'm like number 3 and for sure top 5. Like when I go to the gym every day, I feel like I have so much stuff like I need to like improve on. Like there's like so much more room that like I feel like I need to get like significantly better at. And when I view like guys that are in the top 3, top 5 in the game, I feel like they're very fine-tuned in their craft, and they don't got like any holes. And I feel like I don't feel like I have any holes, but there's a lot of areas where I have lots of room to grow. And that it definitely gets me fired up for the future, because I know I'm like nowhere near where I can be.
Yeah.
Let me give you one, Justin. So I'm sitting here looking at the stats. So Frazier, who's in first, according to his profile, says he's 5'7". Now we all know he's 5'6". So let's call him. He's 5'6". All right. And then Olson is 5'7". He's in second. You're in third. You're 5'8". So I think you should consider femur surgery. Just have them shortened like 2 inches, dude. 2 inches, and you're in first. Just that's all you need.
I'm there.
Yeah, that's it.
Perfect.
That's all you need. That's it.
I like that your mentality is just not last, because that's what we all think when we just walk into class on a daily basis.
I told somebody yesterday, I was in a class with all these guys. They're all younger than me, right? And you always know who the best in the class are, right? And the best in the class always comes in 5 minutes late. And again, he came in 5 minutes late. And I looked at the guy next to me. I'm like, you know how much it sucks to know you just dropped 1 in the leaderboard just because the guy attended. And it's the same thing. It's just like, just don't come in last. Just don't come in last. And I didn't, for the record. I did not come in last.
Wait, can I tell you, just to bring this entire podcast episode way full circle? So my brother's first night at the gym with me, the first thing we did was a 1K row test, right? And I'm like, oh my God, Sam's gonna die. Like, I'm so sorry that I killed you tonight. And he did miraculously like well. I was just very impressed for someone who doesn't have like any CrossFit experience and hasn't really been like very active recently in life. He did a really good job. And the first thing out of his mouth when he was done was, oh my gosh, I wasn't the last one. And I was like, oh my gosh, you're a natural CrossFitter. Welcome. Who knew? And then the second day we did a 400-meter run as a warm-up, and he was like, oh my God, you guys run? Why would we run? And I was like, wow. You are officially a CrossFitter.
Well, here's another reason why you need to get on the podium, because you know who's notorious for giving the pity clap is Noah Olson. If you come in last, Noah's going to be standing next to you going, come on, Justin, you can do it.
That's
buddy.
not the pity clap. That's the support clap.
You can call it what you want. I always consider it the pity clap. And Noah is the nicest guy on the planet.
Yeah.
Like, you remember during the marathon row 2 years ago, like him and Scott Panchek were the only 2 guys out on the floor, literally cheering every athlete as they wrapped up 4 hours worth of rowing, and they're still out there cheering people. So Justin, come on, dude. If you don't beat him, he's going to be standing over you going, you can do it, buddy. Come on, pal. Like, and you're just going to just be cringing the whole time. And you're going to hear my voice in your mind. So go beat him. or you're getting the pity clap.
Oh, I don't know if you guys went and watched like Matt and Tia's like kind of recap of their experience. And I mean, Matt's a very determined guy. He's not cocky by means. I think he's very confident in what he is. And when he says like, I just want to remember it as like a dominant force. Like that's pretty awesome mindset. But like, then again, that fires me up. And I was like, I don't want everyone to think that you're just a dominant force, like going into this weekend. And I feel like a lot of people, like I'm looking at comments, people are saying, oh, just give him the trophy already. I'm like, no. Like, there's 4 other really fit people in this division. We're going to make sure that whoever comes out on top definitely earned it. So I definitely would not count like any of us out. Like it's going to be a grueling weekend. Like it's going to be it's going to be really different. I'm really excited for
make him earn it, dude. Please.
Good for you, Justin.
Please
That's
make
right.
him earn it.
Hell yeah.
I love Matt. Love him. I love his attitude. We had one of his coaches on here not that long ago, Chris Henshaw, and like Nikki and I had a chance to like get some insight into how he trains, and it's really inspiring. Like he really has kind of an inspiring story. But I've said forever, anybody can lose. Anybody can, and I would love to see one of you guys go out there and just take it to him, push him hard, knock him down a second. It's like breaking up a no-hitter, dude.
4th, 5th. Hey, you never know.
Hey, it's
you
like
never know. I think honestly, the point structure is going to leave a lot up in the air.
Yeah.
Like that is, you fumble on one odd object that you've never touched before, and then everything's a shakeup. So we'll see.
Yeah.
People forget it was a couple of games ago. They opened with a swim, and they had the buoy with them, and Matt lost his buoy. And one of the other athletes caught it and gave it to him. Had they not done that, he probably would have finished last in that event because you had to have the buoy. It was like a required implement, And then there was the games last year where he didn't get a big penalty for it, but the bag, fell out of his backpack. So there's a lot of crazy stuff that can happen in a game. It's like Noah lost his pedal on the bike that year, a year ago or 2 years ago. Like,
do you remember when Noah was doing the plow and the whole thing just tipped over like halfway down the field of play? Like, I mean, anything can happen.
Yeah. I mean, I don't hope for anyone to like lose a pedal or anything like that. And that's how he gets to throw. I mean, like he always said, like he said in Redeem the Dom, like, I hope you like run your best race. Like, I hope he's like, I want this win to feel good. Like, you don't want to go out there and just like get it because X, Y, and Z. Like, you just want to like earn it. And I think, this year that's how it's going to be. I mean,
I have no shame, Justin. I'd be fine with it if it were me.
No, Justin's a real competitor. Come on.
No, it's going to be awesome. It's going to be so cool. I mean, hearing Dave every time say that this year's going to be different than any other year, and we're going to be tested, and even when he said in the beginning here, he's like, I don't know if Matt has the mental capability to get through this weekend. Like, that just gets me excited. Not because like it's going to be easy, but just to go out there and see something new, like I told you guys, is going to be really cool.
Yeah, your mentality is on point, dude. I'm very excited to watch you compete, and I like that you like have the sportsmanship about you to be like, nah, everyone get out there and do your best job. And I am too. And I'm going to do everything I can to get on top. Like that's competition. Exactly. That's all there is to it.
Yep.
All right. So the last thing before we wrap up, do you have a huge American flag to hold while you're standing on the podium?
Bring one with you.
Yes, you better, dude. I don't want to see you standing on the podium like Lucas Hogberg with a tiny little flag because you forgot to take one. Like, go.
Well, they could probably all share one. I mean, the chances of an American podium, it's only Jeff.
Yeah,
Jeff is the only Canadian.
It's pretty high. It is pretty high. Pretty
funny.
High at this point.
My mom's always been like my biggest supporter, and I don't know why, but she's like, I got an American flag for this week.
Thank you, Mom. Thank you.
Oh my God, she did.
That's awesome.
Love it.
But Mom, I don't think they're gonna do anything like that, but my mom was ready no matter what. So.
Good.
Oh my God.
Oh, they'll do it. There will be a podium ceremony, and people will have flags. So make sure you have that flag there, man. Like, that's tradition. You got to make it happen. It'll be fun.
Be good.
Thanks, Mom.
Be good. I know.
That's fantastic. Well, Justin, thank you for coming on, man. We're super excited for you.
Yeah.
I think this is, in recent memory, this is, I think, going to be one of the most fun games because there's so many new names there. We were really excited to see you get in, and I think you can shake it up. So go win that thing, man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How funny too that we were all like looking at 2020 being like, oh, is there going to be, are we going to do sports? We're not going to do, is games going to happen? Is games not? And now that we're here, I totally agree, John. Like, this is like one of the most fun, exciting, unique games ever. I don't think it's going to be like 2020 CrossFit Games asterisk or whatever. I think it's going to be like the fucking friggin' coolest thing we managed to pull off despite the craziness of the world.
Yeah, and have fun, dude. Like, you know, like these are once in a lifetime experiences. Like, you'll be back there again, but every year is a one-time experience. So
100%.
enjoy it, like every second of it, because we're going to enjoy watching it. We'll be cheering for you. And when you
Mhm.
win, you're coming back on the show. So,
For sure.
all right. All right. Well, Nikki, it's been fun as always. Go
always.
drink a Truly and recover from your horrible workout.
Sounds
And
like me.
tell Matt I said hello. For everyone
Sweet.
listening, we appreciate it. And we will chat with you guys soon.